everybody, Gabby here, and welcome to today's episode of A Battle a Day. If you've been liking this series, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and check me out on Twitch. I stream every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. So for today's video, I finally had an opportunity to put together my own take on CML's Sunroom team that we've been using on the channel over the past couple of days. And admittedly, it's still fairly similar to what CML used to win the VGC Cup about a week ago now, I think. But a lot of the things that I've put into place on this team are just things that I like how they work, and yeah, I didn't really feel motivated to change anything, quite honestly, compared to what CML did. So this is, I guess, just an explanation of how you can customize teams to your own fitting. But if you want to get my opinions on the original team, make sure to check out the initial video, which should be up on your screen right now. So for starters, let's just go down the list. For Venusaur, I have Koba Berry because Koba for Dan, and also I think that primarily Venusaur will be taking damage from flying type moves. I almost said air type moves, and I was like, no, that's not the right word. So Koba Berry really helps out for survivability while also keeping a Focus Sash available if I decide to put it on another Pokemon. It's nowhere yet, but I think if I were to put it's nowhere yet, but if I were to put a Focus Sash somewhere on this team, it would probably be Charizard or Venusaur. So I might play around with those items. We'll see. Glastrier is pretty much identical. Porygon-Z, I added Eerie Impulse instead of Ice Beam. I like Eerie Impulse Porygon-Z. Totally a personal preference. Also, I think this Porygon-Z is like a Trick Room Porygon-Z. So, yeah, that's it here. Grimmsnarl, it's the same. Though I think CML had Taunt over Fake Out, but I can't remember. I really like Fake Out. I think this team needs Fake Out, honestly. So that's that. Charizard, it's the same. Timid, max special, max speed. Groudon is the same right now, but I got some interesting feedback from stream last night about swapping out Heavy Slam for Iron Head and swapping out Fire Punch for Thunder Punch. I haven't exactly been convinced of making those switches yet, but I'm thinking I'm keeping them in mind, and if it does come up, then it'll come up. So yeah, that's all I got for now. Let's go ahead and jump into battle with the team. It was actually pretty easy to build this once I got my hands on Groudon so that I could actually import the Groudon that I caught in Pogo, because I haven't done the Max Raid Den yet. And like, I was surprised at how easy it was to train, because I think the last time I prepared Legends for a format like this was 2019, and it was so much harder then, but that's what it is. Excuse me. So it looks like we're facing a team of Urshifu, Rillaboom, Xerneas, that's a Xerneas, Incineroar, Hatterene, and Indeedee, which is a very weird Trick Room mix team, because you really don't want to do Trick Room mix with especially with like a Xerneas, but that's apparently what my opponent's doing. So I think we're going to take it on the slow side of things as a result, but we'll see. Another day, another video where my throat is feeling fine until I start recording and I realize how dry it is in my office. This is great. You know what? I'm not going to edit this out. I'm just going to mute my mic for a sec. Hold on. Literally perfectly fine until I sit down to record, and then it's like, just kidding. You have a dry throat now. You're going to have to cough. I don't know what I should do. I mean, admittedly, I don't have a humidifier in here. I have an incense thing that I run sometimes, so maybe I should just start running it on days when, like, I'm gonna record or something. I don't know. All right, here's the lead. It looks like we got Hatterene and Indeedee versus P2 and Venusaur. So Venusaur is leaving. Yeah, Venusaur is definitely leaving. And I think Porygon-Z is going to Trick Room. Yeah. Yeah, I feel pretty confident about this lead, honestly. Even if my opponent does decide to go full offense, I don't think they go full offense into Venusaur. I think they Expanding Force to deal damage to the Venusaur, which means that the Groudon will be perfectly fine switching in on that with this. Perfectly fine switching in on that with an Assault Vest. Wow. Good job. Words. It's really such a shame that you have to talk in order to be doing this whole YouTube thing, isn't it? So yeah, Groudon, all things considered, is a pretty safe switch, but it looks like my opponent is not going on the offensive with Indeedee, but will go on the offensive with Hatterene. Expanding Force... okay, that did more than I wanted it to. I think we're going to be forced to Dynamax next turn. But then, I don't even know if Dynamax would be enough to protect us, honestly. So, yeah, that was a good read by my opponent. I feel like that's always a 50-50, and I guess I probably should have been a bit more confident going into that, knowing where the field stood. But that's fine. We have to reverse the Trick Room, and I think we just go for the Dynamax here and hope that we accomplish something with it. Max Quake because oh, he didn't Dynamax Hatterene yet. Okay. That actually might save us, honestly. But Max Quake because we're going to get our attack redirected anyways by Indeedee, though I still think it's possible that my opponent might, like, forego Follow Me and just Expanding Force, which might be bad. So, I actually had a thought about this when I was working on, like, improving this team. Where, like, this Groudon, so on CML's team, the Groudon in particular is actually quite fast, and I thought about just not doing any speed investment with it, but then I changed my mind. And I'm thinking that, especially given how I played this turn, it might actually make more sense to take what I do have invested in speed and put it into HP. I might even just go full HP, full attack or something uncultured like that. I don't know. Yeah, because usually I look for games like this to tell me, like, how I want a Pokemon to function on the team, and then I use that information appropriately. So the appropriate adjustment here would be to, give Groudon more bulk, take away the speed. Unfortunately, though, this Groudon has already been max trained in speed, so... you know, that part's unfortunate. I think I had a 6 speed IV prior to that. I probably will just reset on the one that I could get from max raids in order to try and get a good one with a 0 speed IV. Or alternatively, I guess I could go back to Gen 8, 7, the wormholes. I could also wormhole hunt, I think, for a Groudon. But yeah, this is good. These are good things that we've established here. And unfortunately, though, we do not have a Protect on this Venusaur, and Trick Room has not expired, so I think this is going to be a pretty quick game for the week. I think I could actually forfeit and do one more. Yeah, I'm like trying to think through real quick if I have any outs. Glastrier was slower than Hatterene, but there's nothing stopping him from going for the Dynamax on Hatterene right now and Max Smite, and without a Steel type attack on the Hatterene, that's going to be really difficult. I don't think Hatterene... Yeah, I think Hatterene just goes for the Expanding Force here. Okay, you know what? Let's just forfeit and let's do another game, because I do want to, like, actually showcase this team a bit more. But yeah, that was oof. That was oof. That was a bad one. But it just goes to show you, like, this is what you learn in testing. Like, I feel like when I'm just using the code for the team, I just kind of am like, you know, I can't change this, so whatever, I played that matchup wrong. Which to a certain extent is also true. Like, we did play that matchup wrong, going for the Trick Room to reverse the Trick Room. That's not something that you should do unless you have confidence that your opponent's going to go for Trick Room, and in that lead... into like leading Venusaur into Hatterene and Indeedee, like that's the one situation where you probably don't have to immediately go for Trick Room. So that's it. But good information. Good information. I was going to post a Pokepaste down below with the team, but I might post bulkier Groudon instead. I don't know. I'm like torn about it right now because I did sit down and work through CML's EV spreads, and that's what's on the Groudon now. But after that game in particular, and especially knowing how Gabby likes to favor Trick Room, it might make more sense for me to just like just give it an Assault Vest bulky spread, just like max HP for starters. And I don't know, maybe try to figure out if there's any attacks I want to survive. Probably the Mirror Precipice Blades. That would probably be how to build that spread. But speaking of teams that like Trick Room, this is a team that honestly does not have a visible answer for Trick Room. I guess Grimmsnarl with Taunt, which is why we're bringing our own Grimmsnarl with Fake Out to stop that. And let's just be real, we're bringing basically the same Pokemon. I am bringing my Grimmsnarl, so we have a Fake Out option. I don't think that would have helped last game because of Psychic Terrain. It really would have just given us Light Screen, which, I mean, that would have turned the Expanding Force from that Hatterene into a 3-hit knockout, I think, on Groudon. So maybe that would have made things a little bit easier, but it really was the speed control that did us in. Actually, that might have also given us given Porygon-Z a little bit more staying power. And if I would have reversed that Trick Room, then yeah. Oh yeah, maybe Light Screen would have been the answer there. Huh. Yeah. Anyways, that's enough talking about last game. Let's talk about game 2, because we never get to game 2 on this channel. It's a special day. It's a new day. It's a new battle, and it's Lugia Grimmsnarl. Oh, this is not what the doctor ordered, but it's fine. Alright, so we got the attack boost from download. That's actually the other thing I was thinking of switching up. I was thinking of switching up download on P2 so that we actually had Trace instead. Since I've been seeing some Trace P2 recently that have been pretty darn hype. So I don't know if that's a strategy I'm going to want to stick with. I'm certainly not getting special attack boosts on download anymore. So I think people have started maybe even calcing for that. I was going to say maybe they've started like adjusting for it in their play styles, but this might even be like EV calculation kind of thing. So, but in terms of this lead, like I see my opponent setting up screens for Lugia and then just seeing Lugia get super bulky. So I guess, all right, Aeroblast is fine. We got Trick Room up. That's what I wanted. Alright, so in the meantime, while we get a light screen up to help us against this Lugia, do I wanna? I kind of want to, but you know what, let's try attack the Grimmsnarl first. As much as I want to go for the Eerie Impulse into the Lugia, it's not going to be dealing that much damage behind a light screen to a Porygon-Z, and as a result, I should wait. I should wait until the appropriate time, even though I really wish the appropriate time was right now. But I'm hoping that we can position Porygon-Z in this game so it stays on the field for the entire time. It's just, like, when I see a lead like this, and I see a bulky Pokemon like Porygon-Z, I feel like the opponent has to have that, I think it was a Cinderace on this one, but like some sort of physical... Okay, some sort of physical attacker to handle things, but was he expecting physical Porygon-Z? Admittedly, Chalky was mentioning that somebody has been running physical P2 as of late, and you just like, if you get the attack boost for download, you just run with that kind of thing. I don't know if I'd want to try it, honestly. I really like Porygon-Z as a support Pokemon that can just deal damage with Tri-Attack anyways, but huh. Interesting. Interesting. That is very interesting. I haven't even done damage calcs to figure out like how much Porygon-Z would do. Like, I'm assuming, and again, I haven't looked this up. I've only heard a little bit about it, but I would assume that you'd run, like, return try attack? Something something? Recover or something? Yeah, return try attack. Something. Recover. Weird. Alright, well there's the Spirit Break from the Grimmsnarl into the Porygon-Z. It will lower our special attack by a stage, but I'm not exactly worried about that right now. And then Aeroblast from Lugia into the Grimmsnarl. So Grimmsnarl is within KO range from a Spirit Break here on my own Grimmsnarl right now. So I think we're going to go for that. And assuming that we're going to get another yeah, alright. I know I said I wanted to keep Porygon-Z on the field, but I'm going to get a little bit greedy here. And I don't know if it'll work out, but I think I really want to get Glastrier out so that I can Dynamax it and just start doing what Glastrier wants to do. So I think that by switching Porygon-Z out, worst case scenario, we take a Taunt. Yeah, okay, great. I was gonna say worst case scenario, we take some damage from Spirit Break, but no, Glastrier will happily be taunted because I was just going to Dynamax it. So, you know, I don't want to be using Max Guard on these turns anyways. Interesting, huh? Honestly, the Lugia is confusing me a lot right now. Yeah, the Lugia is just very confusing, but I don't see a reason why I need to prioritize dealing damage to it yet. So, like, I kind of want to double the Gieleki on the off chance that it's a Focus Sash. But why would you send Gieleki in now? Is the question. So whatever they have in the back is probably even poorer suited to Trick Room than a Regieleki, so that has to be the Cinderace. And then you also keep the Cinderace for the end of Trick Room when Porygon-Z is back, so you can stab close combat and try and roll for a knockout. Which means Gieleki's going to protect this turn. Okay, Lugia protected. Gieleki also protected. Okay, there we go. Well, there goes my idea that Lugia was Assault Vest, I guess. Huh. Alright, well, here's the next question. Do I rotate Grimmsnarl out at this point, or do I just keep it around for funsies? I definitely am going to get the knockout onto Regieleki next turn for the Chilling Neigh boost, and the special defense boosts are beautiful. And a special defense boost on the... Oh, Trick Room's over. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to switch out because I don't think Porygon-Z could take 2 attacks from these Pokemon. So he has one more turn of Reflect. I have Gabby face turns. Alright, I have plenty of turns. So we'll keep Grimmsnarl in. We'll go for a Spirit Break onto the Lugia plus a knockout onto the Gieleki, and then we'll see what their last Pokemon is and if it is Cinderace or not. And if we don't get the Spirit Break on Lugia, it's honestly okay. I want to see this guy, honestly, pick up that knockout just so that I can switch happily. I cannot switch happily. That's fine. How did Regieleki miss out on that KO? I guess, okay, I'm at +1 special defense, and light screen. But I don't think this Grimmsnarl is that bulky. Okay, I actually don't know if this Grimmsnarl is that bulky, to be honest, but I don't think it is. I need to check my EV spreads after this game anyways to put together like that paste, but huh. What a strange game. Will I at least get the reveal of Cinderace so that that prediction can be great? Okay, thank you. That prediction's great. Alright, and Taunt is gone, so I'm gonna save Protect for next turn. He's going to Dynamax on the Cinderace, like, easy. That has to be what he's been saving it for this entire time, so admittedly, I wish that I had a better course of action here. Like, I could have max guarded, sure, but then when the P2 comes back in, it's like, I guess going for the max guard here would have meant that I wouldn't have to put Groudon in a situation where Groudon is just taking damage for no reason. So that's probably something to be aware of, but I'm really hoping that the Reflect here will carry a little bit of value. Yeah, no, we're fine. He went for the KO on Grimmsnarl. Which, again, is interesting because I will still have Reflect up next turn, and Porygon-Z will take less damage from a Max Knuckle than it will from a close combat, for example, or a high jump kick. So really, the Dynamax here works in my favor. Because next turn we just protect on Glastrier. We take, you know, like a smidge less of damage if the Cinderace attacks the Glastrier. But I think my opponent has to double into the Porygon-Z at this point. Oh, the weakness policy on Lugia is interesting. You know, I've heard of some Lugia running weakness policy because they're so bulky they can really pull it off. But at the same time, that Hydro Pump did 8 damage to Glastrier, and I feel like it does similar amounts of damage even after the weakness policy. So I don't know if it's worth it, kind of thing, but alright. You know, on the off chance that he does not double into the Porygon-Z, this is a bad play, but if he does, this sets it up so it's Cinderace versus Groudon, and I think Groudon wins that. So, I want to get rid of the Lugia in particular right now because it revealed Hydro Pump. That's definitely the move that's going to threaten Groudon more long term. So, yeah, we'll try. I don't know if my opponent will get it or what my opponent's going to predict or not, because I personally feel that the Trick Room is the bigger threat, but, you know, I'm not this person, and oh no, they went Fireball into Porygon-Z. Why did they go Fireball into P2? Are they not making a fighting move on Cinderace? I mean, okay. I really want to see this guy's team because this is crazy at this point. Anyways, I think we just win. Next turn we're going to recover on P2 and high horsepower on Glastrier, and if high horsepower misses, then Groudon comes in and we're just gonna like Fire Punch or something and everything will be fine. But yeah, that I guess, okay, I guess that Fireball does have the highest base power at that point, and that would be the best chance you had of knocking out Porygon-Z, but I think I personally would have just accepted that that wasn't going to happen and taken the attack boost from a Max Knuckle in hopes that like I could then take the attacks this turn and then like just, you know, build up some momentum, and I don't know, then like triple protect my way out of Trick Room, or Sucker Punch. I guess you could like Sucker Punch your way out of Trick Room too with a Cinderace. But very interesting turns. Very interesting turns. I really want to know more about that Lugia. I want to know more about the Cinderace. I just want to see this guy's team, so please understand. Please share your team with me. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. I guess we'll find out what he prioritizes now, right? Alright. Okay, yeah, so he's just bulking up defenses at this point. So also interesting that he went for Fireball instead of a Steel Spike then, if that's his priority, which, like, I think bulking up the defenses is the way to play this if you're gonna have trouble with Trick Room anyways. But yeah, I don't know. Alright, so we have to recover again, especially now that Reflect's gone. And we just click high horsepower again. Unfortunately, with all these P2 recover turns, you know, it's not exactly helping our cause, but we just get the KO anyways, now that he's small. So GG's. GG's. Tynator. Very interesting team. Very curious use of weakness policy Lugia. There has to be something else there. But unfortunately, Fortunately, unfortunately, we will not be able to find out. And that's okay, because I have recorded for far too long, and I think it's time I call this video donezo. So if you made it to the end, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about these battles. Obviously, I think the second battle's better. I'm biased. But yeah, also feel free to check the team out in the video description and let me know what you think. As a reminder, I do stream on Twitch every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Yesterday we did some awesome battle stadium laddering with this team. Tomorrow we're gonna do something with laddering, I think, while we also try to finish Fire Red so I can get a couple of TMs I need for Metagross before we take on the Battle Tower in Emerald. And then Friday we'll be doing more VGC stuff. So thank you for all of those who have stopped by, and I hope to see more of you next time. So that's all I got for today. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.